to share something with you that might put me in a very negative light, yeah.
Relationships are not my forte.
See if someone grabbed up my wife or something, completely different ballgame.
I'll walk away from here, and this has been like a therapy session.
This is Umar Ahmed for IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. I'm joined by the Daily Mail's very own Jeff Powell. Just get your opening comment on what's going on here with reported drug test failure from Conor Benn and potentially the fight being in jeopardy on Saturday night, Jeff.
Well, whatever the truth and the reality of what has or hasn't happened with this, this is, I'm afraid, another damaging day for British boxing, following on the heels of the pulling of the plug on Fury versus Joshua, which was another fight the whole world was waiting to see. Anything that casts a shadow of drugs over British fighting is unfortunate. Conor is claiming innocence in all this, and at the moment we have no real hold on whether to believe him. I hope he is, but even a trace element of a drug which, despite the denials, and because it's a drug for women's fertility, is in fact a testosterone enhancer of bodybuilding, stamina, recovery from training quickly. So it may only be a small amount, but whether that's important will depend on the cycle of events of when that was taken, perhaps towards the end of a series of abuses, perhaps not, and in context with clearance by the UCAD tests, which followed later. But whenever drugs raises the spectre on boxing, it's another blow to the sport. There have been many lately. This is an unfortunate timing. It's terrible for Conor if he's innocent. Eubank has behaved as if he believes that it's not important, but I suspect that all the money involved with this fight and all the preparation they both put into it, the large purchases they're going to get, would affect that kind of judgment. If he's prepared to take the risk, but the British Boxing Board of Control at the moment don't think they should let him do so. It may, Eddie Hearn is pursuing not only litigation but talks with the board to give him what he calls comfort, and if he succeeds in that, the fight could come back to life, perhaps as early as this Saturday, and more likely down the road in a few weeks. Benn is not suspended, but it's interesting that the board have taken heed of a VADA test, which they don't normally do, while the UCAD tests have been clear. That suggests that perhaps the more rigorous testing by VADA has caused concern with them. I also suspect that all the talk about, especially by his father, young Chris, being weakened by dehydration, coming down to below his normal weight, is a factor that's played into this. Somebody may be thinking that if he's drained at the weight by the rehydration clause, that he would be even more great danger from a man who comes up punching on the back of drugs abuse. It's a terrible situation for everybody. It's a pity that it's happened. We can just hope that it's cleared up in a satisfactory and a happy way for everybody.
At this present time then, what's your understanding of whether the show will go ahead or not? Do you think it's likely that the show goes ahead?
My best guess is that it might be revisited in a few weeks, perhaps within even 3 or 4 weeks, because whether there's time for Eddie to reassure the board or to go through with any kind of injunctions to prevent them withdrawing their sanctioning of the fight, it's a short time scale. The difficulty with that, in one way, commercially, is that people will have already been disaffected by this and are expecting the fight will be off, and it could affect the pay-per-view box office take.
Jeff, listen, I appreciate your time. I know you're a busy man with everything's going on.
Always a pleasure.
Thank you, mate.
I'm going to share something with you that might put me in a very negative light, yeah.
Relationships are not my forte.
See if someone grabbed up my wife or something, completely different ballgame.
I'll walk away from here, and this has been like a therapy session.